The greatest feeling in the world was holding my own gun. I'm hypertensive, but all my decisions been wholesome. My independence had me flipping on siblings I stole from. Said I'm just big and loud. Well, £1/2 is my silent treatment. I punched out plugs I could've stopped from eating.
Stash of the product, shy nigga got a gun in the mask in the grass, it's a popper. I was Robin Hood with the stock, don't get shot up. Now I'm watching Robin Hood and my stocks, they just shot up.
That's all it is. You just do the math. You solve one problem and you solve the next.
How much of the Get Rich or Die Tryin movie was depicted as far as your role?
See, that was the part that really got me, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm happy to be in that movie, but when you look at two characters, I'm the guy in the wheelchair.
Oh, that was you in the wheelchair?
Yeah, because I'm the engineer.
Right.
But we not in wherever they was taking. So it was loosely based.
Right.
Because that's how they had to make it so they didn't have to pay this person or get sued or get whatever they did. It was a loosely based movie. So some of it wasn't all the way it really was.
Right.
So the guy in the wheelchair was me, but then the guy that get him on the stage, get him here, get him there, that was also me too, but that was also Chris Lighty.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like they had two people playing me, but then also playing Chris at the same time. You know what I mean? So that's the loosely based of the movie. You know what I mean? But
That's good clarity. I never knew
that was me the
Because
whole
the whole time, every time I watched the movie, I said if I ever could speak to Shot Money Excel, I would ask him this question.
Yeah,
like,
and Chris Lighty pulled up to my crib. He pulled up to the basement too. Like, you know what I mean? So everyone came to my crib. That's where you met with Fifth. He wouldn't go to your office if he didn't know you, because he didn't know. And especially at that time, Chris was managing everybody.
Right.
Ja Rule included. Co-managing. You know what I mean? So at that time, he just he wouldn't move like that. So you had to come to us.
Right.
So Chris came, and that was another beginning of something great.
How were you able to maintain all, because you're cool with Chris Lighty, you're cool with
Chris
a lot of-
Gotti. You did something for Chris Gotti, right?
I did it for Tragedy.
For Tragedy via...
Chris Gotti called trying to figure out who did the track.
Okay.
Right.
And that's how I got an introduction to him.
when Fifth is dealing with, life and death, no exaggeration, but you're right in the middle and you're the front man for everything that's happening. If I'm hearing this correct.
That's correct.
People need to call you to get in contact with
Yeah,
him. He
I
doesn't
was
trust anybody. He only trusts you. His circle's super small.
Super small. No one else was in there. I was the only middleman between any conversation. He would rehearse conversations with me. Me and him would really build in a space where he didn't trust no one. So I had to just really lock in with him, like, yo, we gonna do it like this, and all right, cool. And the communication, I just followed that, and that's how we did it.
Did you know at the time that it would be worth this? There's a lot of danger. There's all these shots flying. And
Yo, I had no fear at
And
that
he's
time. I
beefing.
really, honestly...
You Haitian, you don't got no
Haitian,
fear.
bro, I would be beating niggas up just for being who I am, bro. So I didn't really have that, there was people I would get on the phone with like, I'm gonna get some approval from some heads from Southside before, what?
Wasn't y'all on
Like,
different
what?
sides
Like,
too?
What do you mean? Like, there's people that were in fear of everyone, Supreme Team and all of that. Bro, there's so many gangsters from my neighborhood, OGs, the stories. If you live in fear of the story, you ain't even meet the person, but you living in fear of the story.
Right.
I wasn't one of those. I couldn't do that. But there would be people in my hood that just heard the story and be scared of that person based on the story. I'm like, nah. And this was the homie, and I knew he was a real one. Fifth was never playing. So it wasn't like he was some weak, soft nigga. I knew he was about it too. So it was like, yo, but this nigga is the truth. So that was the only focus for me. Period.
this is gonna be the future moving forward.
That's it. I wasn't in fear of none. I even got a call one time like, what y'all doing? Da, da, da. And I knew, you can't say, yo, I'm at my crib. You can't tell this person that. You had to keep everything a certain way. So no one really knew what we was doing.
It was like an army.
It was exactly like an army.
was like an
very
army.
militant.
Yeah.
And we moved very right. I haven't seen nothing like it since.
And you got kids in the house, so you
Yeah,
definitely
two
can't.
kids, yup.
be
And got to keep my crib safe, because if anything happens, it's happening upstairs first. We in the basement. So I had to keep my family safe.
So this is quietly what I'm hearing. There's a lot of, it's almost like an executive boot camp on like how to deal with this. I mean, it's the worst case scenario and it's the harshest conditions.
One wrong move would have ended everything. And I even felt that even up to doing shows. Like, yo, someone could book us and just wipe us out. So, you know, this is something that kept going on even after he made it. Because you never felt like it was over. So you just had to move a certain way. And we moved Militant. And he started buying the bulletproofs and all of that. So things started getting right. And we had security, so we moved right.
Who supported you while this is happening? Like they always say, like
He supported him.
check in on your strong friend. Like who?
Yeah, I had homies like, you know, from my hood, 6'2", Coach PR, Casper. I had like, you know what I mean? My cousin Hookah was around. So we had certain people and then the hood homies. But they were also mad because he was from Southside, we was from Northside. So certain people you really couldn't, it wasn't too deep with that because it was two different sides of Queens.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then later on, that's when I started bringing my other homies around, Ace, Slow from Slow Bus. All of them started coming around after that, bringing the little homies around so they could be around. And that's when it just kept going. Then Northside and Southside started blending in.
So now, you know, 50 comes to your crib, y'all start recording music, Banks pulls up, Yayo pulls up, and y'all creating these like masterpieces of records. What was the mindset of how this music is gonna be distributed? Like original records that you make compared to records that's out that 50 just freestyles on and makes a hit, makes it better than the shit that's on the radio.
Yeah.
Like, what was the mindset between you and 50 and the strategy, right? Like, okay, let's do the song that's popular on the radio, you freestyle over it, body it, let's put that out to the streets in comparison to this is original Sha Money XL production record.
It's a good question. So I used to have this indie called Shadyville Entertainment.
Yes, yep.
Right? So P-Dap was on it, nights around tables, I would press vinyls, whatever. So I met this guy named Bob Perry who owned Landspeed.
The independent label.
Independent.
Yeah.
So he would do the vinyl, he would do everything. So I met him doing that with all my indie stuff. And then when I saw Fifth and we was doing what we was doing, I was like, yo, this Power of the Dollar needs to be heard, bro. And then these new records like 50 Bars and, you know what I mean, Follow Me Gangsta and all this other stuff that I was doing, I was like, bro, let's just put it out on something on the underground. Let them get that out. And he was like, he was with it. And that was the beginning of the start, from Guess Who's Back to 50 Cent Is the Future, which is like 2 months apart.
Okay, I get that. So it was your idea to say, yo, body these tracks of songs that's popular on the radio.
No, that was him.
That was him.
That was him. He's,
Okay.
yo, give me this instrumental.
He
was like, give me the instrumental, but he'll be like, yo, give me that LL record. That was all him having those ideas. If you smile for me, give me that. Give me all of those records.
Right.
And then I'm like, yo, bro, the vocal's still on it. He was like, I don't care. Bro, then I'm trying to get the instrumental, chop up the part with the hook. That's when I started learning things on Pro Tools because I never was taught to be an engineer.
Right.
He's literally like one of the second, third people I ever recorded as an engineer.
So you're learning on the job.
I'm learning on the job.
You learning on the job to be an executive. You learning on the job to be a manager. You
no,
learning on the job to be an
promoter,
engineer.
advertiser, marketer.
But let's say
Jesus
this.
Christ.
This is the part we learn. We ain't got no money to pay nobody. So who you gonna pay the engineer? You ain't got no money.
You gotta learn this shit.
He couldn't even feed his homies at the time, bro. So we had to really come together and do this together. And I turned into an engineer. My main goal was to be a producer.
Right.
That's why after that, I never really engineered again.
Right.
Because that's not what I wanted to do.
Some of the stories we hear coming. He wasn't the only person recording in that basement though, right? Or was he?
Nah, like I said, Red Cafe, Saigon Cutter Record, you know what I mean? Dap, a few other young.
How was he cool with other people pulling up?
No, he wouldn't be there. These are days that he's never there.
Okay,
When he's there, there's nobody else there.
got you.
There's probably one time Saigon was there.
Saigon told me he got in the smoke with 50.
Yeah, in the basement. Because they stay connected. Then he was texting him and all of that. And then, you know, Fifth, he ain't really, so.
Her Fifth balked on him.
It was cool in the beginning.
Yeah, he said that.
Oh shit!
It was cool in the beginning. But then Saigon just kept going. So, and Fifth had his whole vision. And it was the Gorilla Unit. Turned into G Unit. You know what I mean?
What was your biggest hit that came out of the basement?
Biggest hit out the basement, Poor Little Rich. As far as me producing.
Yeah.
Of course, I recorded everything else. What Up Gangsta, the first record I recorded on Pro Tools. Many Men, all of those records recorded there. Those were on ADAT.
Right.
You know what I mean? Half the album was recorded before we even signed to Aftermath, Shady Aftermath. So
What was that? What was that moment like when you found out that Eminem
Yeah,
was
tell us that
coming
story.
around? And,
It's all around. Look around you, man. You can find inspiration. You can find discouragement. It all depends on you. Perception is everything. Some people just hear another song. Some people hear the greatest. A nigga used to have no chill. Nowadays I bump side A. Traffic going bumper to bumper, stuck on the highway.